want to talk about hindrances to healing. I've got here 11 hindrances. It's probably more, but you know, sometimes there's things that can hinder somebody from getting healed. There can be hindrances. And I want to, you know, the number one I want to talk about, lack of desperation. I find it amazing. If you look at the Word of God and the miracles of Jesus, if we re-examine the miracles of the gospel, but how many of these people who got healed had desperation in their lives? We have blind Bartimaeus, who screamed out, you know, Son of David, have mercy on me. He screamed and screamed and told him, be quiet, and he cried out all the more. He was so desperate. We see a lady who had been bleeding for 12 years. She was so desperate for a healing that despite the Jewish law that says if you have leprosy or you have an issue of blood or bleeding, you are classified as unclean. And unclean people could be stoned if they came into the public. And despite that, she risked her life to come and touch Jesus. An unclean person touching a Jew, a clean person, was unheard of. But desperation drove her. We see in the Gospels, one desperate person after another. We see them climbing mountains and being up the mountains for 3 days without any food. That is desperation. Imagine you have the conference. I'm sorry, there's no food. There's no toilets, I'm sorry. There's nothing up here. All there is the anointing. 3 days. They were so desperate, they didn't care. They carried the lame, the halt, the maimed, the blind were led up the mountain. I tell you, desperate people all through this beautiful gospel. Desperation has a lot to do with the miracle. Either the person receiving the miracle or the person reaching out to them. Desperation is if that's me, tell I'm busy, thank you. But desperation is lack of desperation can be a hindrance. Oh, well, I might get along the healing meeting and we'll just see what happens. Oh, well. Oh, hang on, there's a good program on tonight. If it goes for too long, I'll get home. Oh, well, if I get healed, I'll get healed. I tell you, God responds to people who, that guy who had the tree fall on him, he was desperate in agony. I tell you, I love desperate people. Tonight, are you desperate for Jesus? Are you desperate for people who go to hell? People are lost and broken. Lack of desperation can be hindrance. Also, number two, the genuine desire to be healed. You know, not everybody wants to get healed. You know, what you tolerate is what you live with. And some people in our society, especially Australia, you know, they're used to getting pensions. They're used to getting government subsidies. Well, if I get healed, I might lose my pension. And if I get healed, I might lose sympathy. Some people just don't want to get healed. And you can pray all you want, but if they don't want to be healed, it's going to be a challenge for you. You can pray for dear Aunt Mary of arthritis all you want, but if she's on a good pension, and that sickness that keeps from that pension, I tell you, it's going to be a challenge. So you need a genuine desire to be healed. Actually, I'll never forget, I've got a son here who's working in the mines, and he's away from his family a lot. Anyway, he's got this drilling rig, and there's this metal cylinder fell in his leg and actually dislocated his knee, pulled it right out of the socket. And my son didn't tell me. I found out a week later. And I phoned him up. I said, Joel, you've had an accident. Dad, please, whatever you do, don't pray for me. But he must have spent 5 or 6 months touring me once over the UK, and he recorded miracles for me. He said, Dad, don't you dare come near me. He said, why? He said, because, Dad, he said, they've told me I'm going to get at least 12 months full compensation. I'll be home with my family, and then I'll get $50,000 payout for the injury. Dad, just don't stay away from me, please. and so there has to come this genuine desire. Man, I want to be free. Enough is enough. I don't care about the pensions or the sympathy. A powerful hindrance to healing is unbelief. Very simply, unbelief will just keep people away from meetings or keep people away from Jesus. Unbelief. And Jesus said in Mark 6:5 they couldn't do any miracles there except lay his hands on a few sick people and heal them. Their lack of faith and their unbelief. unbelief. But I found this that the smallest grain, the grain of mustard seed of faith is enough to see the most amazing miracle. All you need is the tiniest bit of faith to see the impossible happen. But unbelief is easy. Just repent. Jesus, forgive me. For unbelieving, God, just forgive me. Number 4, rationalism. Some people live in logic. Some people aren't open to the supernatural. 2 always must make 2. It always has to be reasonable. I tell you what, the supernatural is not reasonable. It's not reasonable to have people with broken necks begin to get feeling back again. And cripples run, or blind eyes open. And late in the weekend had one blind in one eye. And all of a sudden God opened her eye. And her husband was deaf in the ears, and God had opened his ears. I tell you what, Jesus, that's not medically reasonable. That's not logical. And sometimes people live in rationalism. It's all got to be logical. And their own mind can stop them. You let go. God, forgive me for unbelief. Forgive me for trying to analyze everything.